If you don't mind, like I said, I've mentioned a couple of times, you have a little stack of paperwork in front of you. Let me explain a little bit about what that is. My name is Kelly Bruemmer, and I am an education specialist at the Oklahoma Healthy Aging Initiative, OHAI. You're going to see it on a lot of stuff in front of you. We are a grant-funded program at the Department of Geriatric Medicine. We're funded by the Donald W. Reynolds Foundation, and we are seeking to improve the health and wellness of older Oklahomans and their caregivers. So we do a couple of different things on a statewide level. We offer health and wellness classes in lots of different locations. It's a statewide program, and you guys have an OHI brochure in front of you. If you'll flip it over on the back, I want to show you something. Anything that we talk about today, anything, information that you hear today that you think somebody else that you know might benefit from, these classes are available all over the state. So we have 5 different regional offices. My office is in Oklahoma City, and so my office services those orange counties right in the middle, Lincoln County included, so we're thrilled to be here today in Stroud. But anybody that you know anywhere in the state can access this information. And so there is contact information on the back of this for the regional offices, so you can definitely direct people to their regional office, or they can always visit our website, which is in the blue line at the bottom, ohai.org, and they can always find out what's going on in their area. So we're thrilled to have you guys. We are at the OU Health Sciences Center. That is where we are based, there at the Department of Geriatric Medicine, and our state office is there as well. So before we move forward, I need to introduce somebody in the back. This is Sarah. Back in the back. It's also her birthday today, so.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
I have to tell people it's her
Thank you.
And so she's going to be filming this class for purposes of showing people what it is that we do. As a part of that, you have a form in your stack of papers. It's got a big red OU at the top. That is a talent release. And so, no, this is not a talent competition, although you never know where we could go. This is actually giving us permission to take this video and utilize it. If there's any possibility that you might be in the picture, even if it's just the back of your head, we have to have your permission. So if you would please provide us with a signature on that form, that would be great. If you are not interested in being in any form of anything, just let me know now so that we can maybe move you to a different part of the room so that you're not going to be in the video. We definitely want to respect your wishes in regard to that. You also have a form that says liability waiver at the top. That form we definitely have to have from you to move forward. It simply says that you are here voluntarily. You're not going to hold the University of Oklahoma responsible if anything, you get hurt in class, but guess what? We're not doing anything that's going to get you hurt down here. And I'm not diagnosing you with any illness or anything like that. The registration packet that you have is 2 pages stapled together. They're both front and back. And this project was created at the University of Oklahoma. It's a homegrown program, so you should be very proud of it. It's a wonderful program. We're going to learn a lot of wonderful information. As a part of that, there is some information requested on that little 2-sheet packet that's stapled together for the purposes of our ongoing research. If there's anything on there that you're not comfortable providing, please leave it blank. That is absolutely no problem whatsoever. There's one more page, and it's kind of a survey with a bunch of 0s, 1s, 2s, and 3s on it. It will ask you some generalized questions about kind of just your mental well-being, how you kind of self-assess yourself right now. We're also going to do this at the end of the series, so I want to see how things change, how you're applying the things that you've learned. And things like that, and that is one of the most helpful tools moving forward as we're constantly making changes to the program. So we're very happy to have you here. We're obviously excited to see so many people interested in the wellness of your brain and your mental well-being moving forward with your life. This workshop was developed by a team of doctors and educators, specifically to enhance the health and well-being of your brain and your mind. Okay? During this workshop, we're going to be discussing 12 pathways to good mental health. That's what we're going to spend today doing. Talking about 12 things you can do every day to keep your hamster on his wheel. That's how I describe that. You got to keep your hamster spinning, right? Sometimes my hamster takes a break too, but we all got to get our hamster back up on the wheel and get him rolling again. So we're going to spend today talking about the 12 things you can do every day to make that happen. This information is vital to your mental well-being and your brain health, and it's also so applicable to your everyday life. You are working on some of these things without even knowing it. You're working on them today just by being here, and you don't even realize it yet. So we're going to really bring everything full circle today, so I'm very excited about that. Next week, we're going to talk about stress. Stress. Nobody in here ever experiences stress, right? So we can just skip that session, right? No. We're going to talk about stress. How do you know when you're stressed? How do you identify it? And what do you do about it? Good things, bad things? Everybody manages stress differently, right? Even choosing not to manage it, not to do anything about it, that is managing it. You're making a choice on what you're going to do about it. So we're going to spend that session doing stress, okay? The next session, we're going to talk about depression. Same thing. Nobody ever wants to talk about depression, but we're going to talk about it in here, okay? We're going to talk about how do you know when you're depressed? How can you tell? And I'm not talking about clinical depression that's diagnosed by a mental health professional. I'm talking about the kind of come and go depression that maybe lasts a couple of days and you're just kind of in a slump. I call it my days. You know, I just feel very today, you know. How do you know when you're there? Well, how can you tell? What are the signs? And how do you recognize it in other people? Because some people show it differently than you do. And then what do you do about it? We're going to do that same kind of management tool identification activity. It's really interesting. The last session, we're going to talk mostly about this book. Now, this book in front of you, this is provided to you at no charge as a part of this class, and it was developed by the same people who developed this program. We're going to spend some time in the first couple of pages today. This book is yours to keep, so I definitely want you to take it home, read through it, utilize it. Feel free to take notes in it. There are plenty of opportunities. We've left plenty of space in this book for you to take notes. This book is yours to utilize as you see fit, okay? So today we are going to be on pages, I believe 6 is where we're going to start. We're going to start on page 6 and we're going to go all the way through page 9. That's all we're going to do today. Then we got a couple of pages for session 2, a couple of pages for session 3, and session 4, we're going to talk about how do you utilize this book for the next year of your life, okay? There are enough pages in here for you to actively utilize it for 52 weeks. And it's pretty cool. So if you hear stuff in this class that you definitely want to apply moving forward, and you need some of those little subtle reminders, maybe not so subtle depending on how you utilize the book, this book is yours and you can utilize it however you want. Okay? So session 4 is all about moving forward. How do we take the information that we've learned and apply it every single day? Okay? So it's pretty great. Hi, good morning.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. Come on in. There's a little stack of paperwork in front of you. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay. So we all know that if you don't use it, you lose it, right? Everybody says that. You say that about a lot of different skills. If you don't use it, you lose it. Say it about, I have a unicycle. I got a unicycle for Christmas when I was 15. And I learned to ride it very well. I learned to play basketball on it. And now it's in my garage. I'm 36. And I'm terrified to get on it because I know that I will just fall flat on my face. I haven't been practicing. So you have to practice things to maintain a skill. You have to practice things to learn it and then maintain it. So it's very interesting. It's a very interesting concept that you apply even without thinking that you're applying it. So we're going to be practicing the application of the information that we learn. Okay, we're going to do it all together, and we're going to start today. We're going to start today, hopefully. So, general housekeeping. There is a bathroom on the first floor. We're in the basement. If you get on the elevator right here, you can go up to 1. You have to stop at the lobby. There's an L. You can go up to 1, ask the librarian for the key. It's locked, and she'll point you to the restroom. And then hopefully you'll come back and rejoin us in class. So the bathroom's on 1. The exit, if the elevator for some reason goes down, we can get on the stairs and go straight out the front door on the south side of the building. So no problem whatsoever. So let's talk a little bit about what you guys need from this workshop. I want to know what you are looking for. What are you here for? What piqued your interest about this class?
My sister-in-law having Alzheimer's or dementia.
Great, okay.
Memory problems.
Great reason. Memory problems?
Memory
Okay.
problems.
Okay. What else?
Managing stress.
Managing stress?
Well, I lost my husband 3 years ago, and I have a big problem of living alone.
Okay. Okay. All right. So everybody's here for kind of a different reason. I mean, you know, there's lots of different reasons that people are interested in better brain health as we move forward. So I'm confident that each one of you is going to take something from this class that you can use. More than one something, probably. So we're going to have a really good time. So I'm excited. If for some reason you need to get up, we're going to be here until right at 11, I'm hoping. And if you need to get up, walk around, get up and move, get up and stretch, go use the restroom, whatever, please feel free. We're all adults, so no problem. So we're going to have a great time. But keep in mind that what we're just going to say in this class, there's going to be some sensitive information that comes out of this class, especially if we get into a class discussion. Somebody might be talking about something pretty sensitive, so let's pretend this classroom is Vegas, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? We don't want to spread everybody's gossip all around. We would definitely want everybody to feel 100% comfortable expressing what they want. So we're going to try to be, I'm going to try to be respectful of everybody's time, okay? So I will definitely stay a few minutes if anybody has questions after class, but I'm going to do my best to get you out of here on time. I know lunch at the senior center comes up pretty quick, so definitely want to get everybody out. So what I want you guys to do is open your books to page 6. And as you flip to page 6, through the first couple of pages, you're going to see some of that information that I've already described to you. Information on our regional offices, there's a state map there. And when you get to page 6, it's going to say Session 1, 12 Pathways to a Healthier You, okay? Now, these 12 pathways were kind of adapted from the American Psychological Association. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? These are great pathways, great. And like I said, you guys are doing several of these just by being here today, and you don't even realize it. It's really interesting. So we're going to discuss eating well and maintaining a healthy diet. I love that they put that one first because we just get it out of the way. All right, everybody wants to talk about, or wants to suggest you should be eating this, you should be eating that. But we're going to talk about that and how that relates to your brain health. Practicing good sleep habits and good sleep hygiene. Being active and engaging in pleasant events. Connecting with others and building a social network. Effective communication and self-advocacy. Managing your emotions. Continuing to learn and exercising your memory. Practicing positive self-talk and being thoughtful of your perspective. Extending gratitude, building resilience, adaptability, flexibility, connecting with nature, and service to others. And we're going to have some opportunities to practice that, as soon as we leave this room. I'm really excited about that. So we're going to look more closely at what each of these really looks like. What does it really look like, okay? Let's start with pathway number 1. We'll get it out of the way, but it's very important, okay? Maintaining a healthy diet. Now, I don't know if anybody in here has ever tried keeping a food journal, okay? But you can use this book if you want to try it. There's some space in here to do it. Keeping a food journal is a really interesting way to really see what it is you're eating and really remind yourself of what you're eating. And it makes you more cognizant of what you're eating because you have to write it down. Okay, I talked to a gentleman one time and he said, I won't eat an entire sleeve of Girl Scout cookie Thin Mints because I don't want to have to write down that I ate an entire sleeve of Girl Scout cookie Thin Mints. He said, I'll have 3 or 2 or something like that. And without even realizing it, he has taken a step in the right direction. So try keeping a food journal. You don't have to do it every day, but if you're concerned about what you're eating, and you're concerned about what you're drinking, and you're concerned about your just dietary habits, try a food journal. Put a piece of scratch paper in your purse and hang out with it. Make sure you see it. Don't hide it in a pocket, you'll forget about it. But make sure you see it right when you open your purse. And if you eat something or drink something other than water, put it on your list. If you want to add your water, leave it on there too, because that's a positive reinforcement for positive habits. We love that. Try to choose unprocessed foods. Replace evening snacks with a glass of water. It's actually, I heard a thing on the radio this morning, they were talking about drinking a glass of water before you eat a meal and your stomach has already got something in it. Maybe that would be helpful, I don't know. Eat proper portions. Choose fresh fruits and vegetables instead of sweets or chips. Read your food labels. Know what's in the food that you're eating. And try to reduce your sodium and reduce your sugar. So we've probably all heard the saying, you are what you eat, right? You are what you eat. And that is a really cliche phrase, but it's true. Our bodies absorb or eliminate everything that goes in our mouth. So if we're eating, junk food, our body will absorb what it can, and then you eliminate the rest. Your body is like a car, all right? And I don't know if any of you have ever been on a road trip, but sometimes you pull into a little town you've never been to before because you need gas and you're not sure how long it's going to be till you get to the next gas station, and you get a batch of bad gas. You put it in your car and you get a couple miles down the road and you realize your car sounds a little funny, and you say, oh no, I put bad gas in the car. All right? Is your car going to run? Yeah, hopefully, right? It's going to run, but it might not run as well as it will if you put good gas in. Okay? Good gas in. So you have to be in control and conscious of what you're putting in your car. All right? Put good fuel in, you're going to get good output. So try that food journal, okay? It's helpful to do it if you start with 2 days of the week. Maybe just write down what you eat 2 days of the week. Do one day on the week, use one weekday and one weekend day, because we tend to eat differently on the weekend, okay? Especially if you go to church on Sunday or something and you go out to eat and everybody has something, or you always go to chicken fried steak day or something like that. Make sure you're picking a weekend day and a weekday day. You can really see the difference in how your dietary habits change. Once you know what you're eating, you can make changes that you see are necessary, okay? So what might you eat differently if you were only eating for your health? If you look at that list, how could you apply that to the fuel analogy, okay? So if you will look in your book, I want you to flip to page 8 at the bottom. This is where we had the space to put it. So on page 8 at the very bottom, there is a logo that you guys have probably seen before. This is the MyPlate logo, okay? This is based, I have to say this first, this is based on a 9-inch plate, all right? I don't know how many of you eat dinner off of a 9-inch plate, but my dinner plates are 13 inches. I measured
I'm just trying to figure it out.
My salad plates are 9-inch plates. Now, I'll tell you, I took this method and I went home and I tried to utilize this serving dinner to my husband, and I got laughed at. He looked at me like I was crazy. But this is portion size and portion distribution, okay? So half of your plate, the plate's divided in half up and down, okay? On the left side, fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables. And this is the suggestion for every meal, fruits and vegetables. And notice the vegetable quadrant is a tiny bit bigger than the fruits quadrant, okay? Fruit actually has a lot of sugar. It's natural sugar. But vegetables have so many great nutrients. And you got to try to work it in. All right? Got to try to work it in somehow. All right? Over on the right side, protein and grain. Okay? Protein and grain. And we're talking about whole grain, not processed grain. Whole grain. Okay? And then there's a little side of dairy up here at the top right. That could be a cup of low-fat milk, or a little bit of yogurt or cheese, or however it is that you guys want to incorporate your dairy. All right? Think about how you could plan each meal of your day around this diagram. How would you incorporate vegetables into breakfast?
I don't know about that, but I have a question.
Okay.
This 90-inch plate, if we had like a 6-inch plate for lunch, can we do it?
I don't know if you guys heard that, but she said if I have a 6-inch plate for lunch, can I have a 12-inch plate for dinner? This is recommended for every meal. So you make adjustments based on what you need to do yourself. But this is recommended for every meal. But I do get a lot of pushback a little bit on this vegetables. Okay. For breakfast, how would you incorporate vegetables into breakfast?
Spinach in your smoothie or in an omelet or something.
Right, vegetables in an omelet, spinach, mushrooms, onions, tomatoes. Tomatoes technically fruit, but however you want to incorporate those. Omelets, scrambled eggs, those, scrambles with all the beautiful vegetables. And right now, this is vegetable season. I don't know if Stroud has a farmer's market, but this is vegetable season, and the stuff is just beautiful coming out. So let's go back to page 6. You can refer to that diagram anytime you'd like. So think about what you're eating and where it comes from. Okay? Every time you sit down for a meal, think about what you're eating and where it comes from. The fresher and less processed your food is, the healthier it's likely to be for you. Okay? Are you eating because your body needs fuel? Is your car out of gas? Or are you eating for another reason? Are you eating because you're upset? Are you eating because you're depressed? Are you eating because you're stressed? Or you're bored? Okay? Food is fuel. Try to remember that, okay? If you've been eating to fill some other kind of void, it's time to change that habit, okay? Pathway number 2, let's move on. Practicing good sleep hygiene. Now, there are a lot of people that have never heard this term, sleep hygiene. If I say to you, personal hygiene, do you know what I mean? If I say, you have great personal hygiene, what am I talking about?
How clean you are.
How clean you are, yeah. You take a shower, you use deodorant, right? What about dental hygiene? If I say you have good dental hygiene, what does that mean?
Brush your teeth.
You brush your teeth, you floss, you see a dentist, you're taking care of your mouth. But if I say sleep hygiene, sometimes I get a lot of blank stares. People don't know what that means. Do you guys know what that means?
Have clean sheets on the bed.
Clean sheets on the bed. Well,
Clean underwear, clean whatever you sleep in.
all right. Well, let's talk a little bit about it. Sleep hygiene is developing a healthy bedtime process, a bedtime regimen, a bedtime checklist, shall we say. Your body recognizes, after you do a certain number of things, your body recognizes that it's time for rest, okay? Good sleep hygiene is your ability to properly prepare your body for rest, okay? How do you get your body ready to go to sleep, okay? What tells your body that it's time to go to bed? So here are some tips for that, especially if you have trouble going to sleep or trouble going to sleep and staying asleep. Select a bedtime and stick to it for 2 weeks before you try a different one, okay? Try to go to bed at the same time every night. And likewise, try to get up at the same time every morning, even on the weekends, even on days that you don't have anywhere to be, okay? Try to get up at the same time. This has been easier for me here. Like I have a daughter who's almost 3, and she doesn't know if it's Saturday or Tuesday. So, we're up at 6:30 every day. So this has been, she's been helping me with my sleep hygiene. Try to turn off your electronics an hour and a half before you go to bed. This is the one most people have the biggest problem with. Electronics including your phone, your television, your iPad, if you're watching, late night television, something like that, turn it off 90 minutes before that bedtime that you've set. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. That's the one that I have the hardest time with myself. Okay? But try it, because the light that comes from those electronics stimulates your brain even when you're not actively watching it. Okay? I've gotten into this argument a little bit with my mom, because my mom likes to fall asleep with the TV on. And she puts the sleep timer on and it cuts off 60 minutes later or something like that. And I've had to explain to her, even when she closes her eyes, even if she's asleep, her brain is still processing that light and that sound that's coming out of the television. And so her brain can't rest until that kicks off, okay? Even if you think that it's helping you. So try it. It might be hard in the beginning. Change is hard for everybody, okay? But give it a shot. If you don't want to go to 90 minutes right now, try 20 minutes. And then move up to 30 minutes and then 45 minutes. You can get there, I promise. Brushing and flossing your teeth is overall directly related to your oral hygiene and your overall health, okay? So make sure that you are brushing and flossing your teeth. Practice a relaxation exercise after you lay your head on the pillow. And if you don't know what that looks like, there are lots of different kinds, okay? You can count backwards from 100. You can take yourself, kind of visualize yourself standing in your grandmother's living room, okay? Or standing in your favorite place to vacation. Where's your favorite place to go? Just think about being there. Maybe you're on a beach and you're hearing the water come up over the sand. You can visualize yourself anywhere, okay? One of my colleagues at work, she likes to give the example of thinking about her grandmother's house. She said, I can close my eyes and visualize walking up the steps. I can go into the the living room. I know exactly where the door to the kitchen was and where the bedrooms were, and down the 2 stairs down into the sunken kitchen, and we could go down there. And she said, I never make it out of the back door. I'm always asleep. Because it was a comforting memory for her. And so she can do that. And I have taken that advice and I'm applying it in my own life now. So you have to get to a place where you have good sleep hygiene. You're practicing good sleep hygiene. Your bed is where you spend more time than anywhere else. Okay? So try to make it count, right? If you're not waking up each day fully refreshed and ready to tackle the day, then learning and practicing sleep hygiene is for you. You can come up with your own routine. Some of us have a bedtime checklist. You can't go to sleep until you've done a certain number of things, right? So think about what's on your checklist and start earlier. Start earlier with your checklist, okay? If you wake up in the night, that's okay. You can get up, go use the restroom, get a drink of water, whatever you're going to do, but try to go back to bed. Try to go back to bed, okay? Go to bed when you're sleepy and always before midnight. Always before midnight, okay? You need some rest. But having that regular routine is great for your mind and body. Try some deep breathing. If you get up and go use the restroom or something and you come back and you can't go back to sleep, okay, then it's okay. It's okay, but try. If you need to get back up and take a little walk around the living room, come back, but always keep trying to go back to bed. Okay, always keep trying to go back to bed. It's okay to wake up early in the morning, okay? If you wake up and it's not quite time for you to get up, you can go back to bed. Give yourself permission to go back to bed and rest. Your body needs rest, okay? You can fall asleep again. Most people can fall asleep again. Remember, the bedroom is for sleeping. Okay, the bedroom is for sleeping. And this is actually a change I had to make in my own house. The bedroom is for sleeping. Make sure the room is dark enough to fall asleep and quiet enough to fall asleep. Try not to eat in your bedroom. Okay, try not to eat in your bedroom. Your body, unconsciously, it's recognizing that this room is for other things. You're doing other things. And you want your body to recognize that room for sleeping. Okay, it will be easier for you to fall asleep. Refrain from eating in the bedroom. Like I said, refrain from falling asleep to the TV. Okay, you're not getting quality sleep when you first fall asleep if the TV's still on. Consider setting that timer, okay? Set the timer so the TV will go off if you're sleeping with it on all night. And then gradually pull back on that, okay? It can be gradual, it doesn't have to be sudden. All right. So pathway number 3. Be active, engage in pleasant events. You're doing that today, hopefully, right? You're up, you got dressed, you've got other things to do today, and you've chosen to spend some time here with us today. I'm hoping that this turns out to be a pleasant event for you guys, but you're up and you're active, okay? We all know somebody who doesn't get out of the house enough, right? We all know somebody that stays in their pajamas too much and is at the house and doesn't do anything that they used to love to do. So I definitely encourage you to share this pathway, especially with them. Be active, engage in pleasant events. Ask yourself, what do I do for fun? What do you do for fun? Anybody have anything fun that they like to do? Just for fun, just for fun.
Shopping, I mean, that's fun.
Shopping. Retail therapy, we call that. I call that spending money I don't have on stuff I don't need. Right?
Yeah, that's how I stay away from being
Exactly. So shopping, maybe that's fun. What else? Anybody have anything they like to do that's specifically for fun?
I enjoy visiting friends and family.
All
Mostly
right.
family is mostly what I do, but I enjoy visiting with friends and family.
Awesome. That's
I
actually
just don't-
2 different pathways, and I'll tell you how you're practicing 2 pathways just by doing that in a minute. So find something fun that you like to do. Maybe you like to sew or woodwork or build model cars or cook or take beautiful pictures. And by the way, Stroud is a beautiful place for taking pictures. Sarah and I were actually just talking about that on the way in. Do you like to be active? Maybe you should take Tai Chi or try gardening or yoga or going for a walk. Finding a partner to go for a walk with you. That's also very helpful. It makes it much more fun when you can have interesting conversation. Maybe you like to watch movies. Okay? You'd rather watch a funny movie or a dramatic movie or an action movie or however you want to do. That. Maybe you like to do puzzles or express yourself through an artistic form like painting or journaling or singing or sculpting or dancing, something like that. If you're feeling sluggish or fatigued, the best thing you can do is move. Get up and move around, okay? If you're inactive now, if you consider yourself pretty inactive, and you know you better than anybody else in this room. If you are a fairly inactive person, start with a 5-minute walk. It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be difficult, okay? But start with a 5-minute walk, maybe just around your house, around your yard, down your driveway and back, or out in the neighborhood, okay? If 5 minutes isn't enough, bump it up to 10 minutes, okay? And if you do 5 minutes enough, you're going to bump it up to 10 minutes eventually. The more you do, the more you'll be able to do, okay? It's building your stamina. Have someone that you enjoy participate with you. Get a buddy. Get a workout buddy, a little walking buddy, something like that. Sometimes that can be difficult when it's 100 degrees outside in Oklahoma, okay? But there are places to walk inside. You can find some place to walk inside. There are options. You just got to get creative sometimes, okay? So try it. Eventually, you can work up to 30 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week. And that's the suggested level of moderate activity for everybody, okay? 30 minutes of moderate activity 3 to 5 times a week, okay? So you can start there. Start with 5 minutes, okay? Give it a shot. Pathway number 4, and Ramona, this is exactly where I was going. When you said your fun thing is visiting with friends, and I said you're working on 2 pathways, here's pathway number 4, building your social network, okay? Get out, make friends. And let me be clear, I am not talking about Facebook, okay? You are not building your social network by being on Facebook all day, okay? I love Facebook just as much as everybody. Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these things that people have now, okay? If you're sitting on your couch at home and doing those things, and that's all you're doing to build your social network, that's not what we're talking about, okay? I'm talking about picking up the telephone and calling somebody and having a conversation. Emailing them. You can start with an email, okay? Send cards, letters, interact with your neighbors or people at your church, your family, your pets, your children and their children, okay? Attend local support groups or volunteer and do something you never thought you would do, okay? Find something where you can make new friends, okay? You can volunteer at the library or the hospital or a nonprofit organization or with an event here in town or at the senior center or something like that. The schools love volunteers, okay? So find something that you can do. Be willing to ask for help. It's not always the easiest thing to do. And intentionally set up a support team. Tell your friends, your closest friends and family members what you're doing. And tell them you need support so that you can keep that habit up, okay? We're not talking about Facebook. And I'm going to throw in a little addition here, okay? We as a society need to help each other with our young people and do it by example, okay? Our young people are glued to the television and glued to their video games and glued to their phones and glued to their iPads and their computers and everything else. And they are just, that idea of the little group of friends is going away. It's going away. I ran into this problem with my nephew, who is 9, and I just ran into it a few weeks ago, actually. I went over to his house, and he was laying on the couch with big headphones on, and he was on his iPad, and he was typing. And I said, hey, what are you doing? Of course, he's like this. He's got the headphones on, and I said, what are you doing? And he looks at me like I've just interrupted his whole life. And he said, I'm texting Nate. And I stopped and I said, Nate? Nate that lives right there? Nate whose house we could hit with a baseball? If I walked outside and threw a baseball, I could hit Nate's house. I said, you're texting Nate and he's less than 100 yards from here? And he said, yeah, like a 9-year-old does. Yeah. You know, we've got to work on that, building that social network, okay? I told him, get up and go talk to Nate. Go talk to Nate. Ride your bicycle if it's too far for you to walk, you know? But we have to work on building our social network, okay? It's very important to maintain your brain health, your friends, your family members. Find, foster, and maintain those healthy relationships, okay? Maintain them. That is the key to staying active, stimulated, and happy. get those relationships. You're doing it already. That's what you said. You're
Well, and I
funneling.
name both, but I rarely ever go see friends. It's usually friends.
Well, we can make that work. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So you can find these people. If you don't think you have these people, you can find these people in the most unexpected places, okay? So don't close your mind to new ideas and new people. You can meet people everywhere, okay? This is also going to be applicable to some of the other pathways we're going to talk about, like engaging in those social events and being active. Number 5, communication and self-advocacy, okay? We're going to move a little bit quicker. Learn and practice active listening skills and techniques such as assertiveness, okay? Maybe just listening, being supportive. Learn and practice participation in supportive relationships. Practice positive, encouraging, compassionate self-talk. Be nice to yourself. Cut yourself some slack, okay? Practice that self-advocacy, okay? And communication. Effective communication is huge. All right? There's 2 parts of communication. There's the talking and there's the listening. If you're only good at one, it might behoove you to practice the other, okay? I am constantly practicing my other. You generally know if you are more of a talker or a listener. I am a talker. I know that I'm a talker, so now that I know that, I am better able to recognize that and practice the listening part, okay? So I'm working on these 2, guys. We are all a work in progress. So what's the difference between active listening and passive listening? Does anybody know?
Passive, somebody's doing something, and you said you're not listening.
Right.
And they know everything you said, but they're really not